I think we could jump into the other hot protests of that happened in the recent times.
On the topic of
protesting. I'll allow Sakian to give us
a video to
play. We have a video?
Yeah, we have a
Okay,
video.
so we're going to play the video first. And then Sakian will brief us, as you know. He has a little bit more inside information.
Youth.
Call me youth. Okay.
Several students at the Clarence Fitzroy Brand College held a protest at the college on 12 February with claims that the CFBC president has suspended a student without reason. According to the students, CFBC President Dr. Jacqueline Austin suspended a student without just cause and fired a staff assistant in the student body elections campaigns.
The president has been doing what she wanted. She actually fired a person who was voting for, campaigning for us. On Monday or Tuesday, she actually suspended my cousin because he stood up and talked to her, and also she didn't file accusation versus a friend of us, or was that Miss Fox?
The student president said a letter of complaint was sent to the CFBC board, but they had received no response. When SK Newsline contacted CFBC President Dr. Jacqueline Austin regarding the claims of the student protesters, her only response was that the matter will be investigated. At the start of the protest, a CFBC official who refused to identify himself unsuccessfully attempted to remove the students from the campus. Glenn Bart, SK Newsline.
And we're back. Yeah, man, we're back. So, the whole thing what's going on at CFBC, it started way back in 2020 after my team. Yeah, they bring it over to the new year. But I think this, what do you want to call it, animosity started around the SGA elections, Student Government Association, where I won for president and on the team stiff, students in full force. And during the whole yeah, we stiff. Man, I'm laughing. We're not done.
No, go ahead.
So yeah. So during this whole election process, my team and I, we recognized some irregularities, meaning some things that wasn't in alignment with the constitution that governs the SGA. So as we have the right to, we highlighted some of these irregularities. One of the irregularities being interference from a member of staff in the whole election process. Because, I mean, you being a member of staff directly associated with student services during the whole election process, you should remain
involved in it.
Exactly. The most you should do is be a facilitator.
Right.
But you can't go out and actively campaign for a particular party.
You have to be neutral.
That alone, you can't tell me I'm talking more money.
No, you didn't talk about
exactly.
You should be neutral.
So the fact that we highlight that, people see me as 6'9". People call me and my team latter, whatever, we lie, XYZ. And I mean, it was apparent that this member of staff was going out and campaigning for the other party, and that in itself is wrong. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the problem, a lot of things happen in St. Kitts, as I say, that we should talk about, but we normalize it. Mm-hmm. Everybody know what is really gone, the bad stuff. Yeah, but people nobody don't come out. I actually ain't gonna be vocal, and I be vocal the right way. Mm-hmm. Because it's only recently we posted something, we being Team Stiff posted an article on social media. We skipped that, we follow the chain. First we send an email to the president at the college, and then after the president forward whatever to the board or whatever. This is the article that we posted actually. It's a bit lengthy, so we just leave it up for a while and you take your time and read it. But it's basically saying on the grounds that we contest the results, as in the interference, and then, okay. What happened was, Jolando.
Before you go forward, right? Just in case the audience has the wrong idea, I just wanted to make clear that he's on the board, not board. He's a part of the party, a part of the student body government for the opposing party. So the protest that you just saw, that is not the student body government that he is aligned with.
Exactly.
He's aligned with the other one. Okay. So in case you're thinking that that's their argument, it's not. It's the other party's argument. We'll jump into that after.
Exactly. So I'm just giving thanks for that, Jolando. And okay, during the whole election process, the first thing that the constitutions will in after you outline the process basically is that the candidates that want to vie for a position should register fortnight days before the election day. You understand? A member of the next team, right, that was there protesting, didn't register 14 days before the election day. So that in itself, how they could run for
So why were they allowed to,
exactly
to register
so that
anyways?
he mentioned
Registration should have closed.
he mentioned the direct in the interview just now. They mentioned the director of student services, Ms. Fox, that allowed him to run after he didn't make the 2 weeks deadline basically. So that in itself was an issue, and we highlighted that. Anybody say anything I do wrong yet?
No.
We merely exercise the right because every student got a right to contest or to voice their opinion on any matter.
And if you find it wrong, speak up.
Speak up. Speak up. So it's like that come to the question now, like people shutting down activism like all the time. It's like you try to sound your voice and like people gonna quiet you down, people gonna be against you. So it's like it kind of discouraging in a society like this because think it's so small. You can't somebody can't name here in town. You need samples. You need you check. So it's like you can't get away. It's like and my name defamed because in the articles they posted on the dog's CFBC page. Defame my name and my party name, so people that really doesn't know. The first thing come to their mind was, oh, well, these stiff people doing what they want or whatever. The president doing what she want.
But why would they say that? Why would they say that you doing what you want? What transpired for them to say that?
I mean, it's always
you're speaking up for what you
exactly. Nobody like law enforcement. Yeah?
Nobody like law enforcement.
Nobody like law enforcement. I mean, saying law enforcement don't shopping it sometimes, but it's like the main reason because people ain't like nobody. Exactly. No one likes to.
I know you're not aligned with the party for dog CFBC. What do you really do about the party?
Anyways, Mets. Mets.
Okay. I know you're not aligned with the with the party who showed on the protest video, but did they take any other sort of any other course of action in terms of
not to my knowledge, you know,
or they went straight to the
they
protest?
Skip the
you know what you did, you
exactly.
know, you went and you
sent
spoke and you sent your email and your letter. Did they go straight to the protest or
well before anything? The first thing they did was created this fake Facebook page and then posted the videos. So that's the first thing.
Having a grievance.
We didn't have no email was sent to neither my team to say they got some grievance against us, or even the president after speaking with her because I asked her and she said the email was sent to
real quick. So I guess victimization is a real thing at the college. Is this what people with little bit of power and authority do to people who are below them?
Yeah, they're going to figure grammatical errors.
Am I tired of hearing that this president is doing at CFBC? So Jadel Fentis, the student in the video, is circulating what was asked to stay home and not come to school. Moving on, let's see how it goes when the students don't show up for classes. Let's see how great the status would look in the news. So what are they protesting against?
What had happened was during my tenure as vice president, because I was vice president for a year and in the same party, we worked with administration to build, everybody here in CFBC, right?
Yeah.
To fix up the study room. So now the study room look like a study lounge. You got in couches, AC.
Oh, nice.
And
that's something upstairs, right?
No, downstairs, right there next to the common room.
So they got the hall to go outside in the parking lot and the opposite.
And it will be on the right if you're coming up the steps.
Yeah.
Not up the steps, downstairs.
But you said on the right. Like
yes, so which would be like the what do you used to call it? The commons.
But next to the common room.
Okay.
Not the common room, but it's next to the common room.
Correct. And then there was the cafeteria close after.
Exactly. So they're fixed up in there, but ain't open as yet. So what happened was some students were in there and they didn't have on the mask or whatever. And then the guard saw them and went to deal with the matter. Alright? And then the president at the college probably saw what was happening or whatever, and then she went go deal with the situation basically. Firstly, India is not open. So from
you
time
be in there.
So from time in there you don't know.
Yeah.
So if they tell you must come out, however, why is a whole argument? Why is a discussion? It's not open, leave.
Yeah.
That's it. And they say, the president is using her power incorrectly and all that. So
him being asked to leave, the response was
negative.
Was all of this? You saw the
protest and argument.
Yo.
not just asking what happened.
Literally.
It was a snowball.
It was
a snowball.
It really was. They don't deserve all this hype. And even the news line them. They reporting on the wrong set of things up CFBC, yeah? Because a lot of other things happening and they reporting that. They wanted to go up to see 5 children, let me say 10 max.
Hola.
10 children protesting out of the 1,000.
What's going to happen when everybody stop gum classes?
So you feel
10 people protesting, 1,000 people that's go CFBC, almost 1,000.
Based on the other issues that you feel that they should actually protest about, you feel you're at liberty to say or no? No, I mean not based on whatever, but just in general. You said that.
But yeah,
it doesn't
other
have to be
things.
specific.
No,
but
I only just mean in general. Like I would like to know.
He had a lot of things prior to especially before my tenure as vice president, because we did a lot actually on our time. We represented the students fairly well, I might say. I must say. But it's used like, okay, he had this policy, right, where you needed 8 units to get an associate's degree. Right? They changed that.
Oh really?
They changed it when you was registering for your subjects this year. They tell you sign this form to say you agree or you know that you need 10 units now to get your
10.
associates.
Okay.
Something you didn't even know about that.
No.
And that's literally why we got in CFBC.
Yeah.
But the news reporters them in posting up this year, and this year affecting every student. Every student in ASGS especially. So you're like, where they be for that there?
Yeah.
But 10 students out there with a sign that ain't got nothing about anything, just saying fix the system, we're gonna talk because we have.
Just to clarify too, I heard that someone got suspended indefinitely in the protest.
Because the person that was in the that was resisting to come out the study room, he probably got suspended.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I didn't see any official document to say he gets suspended. So it could be hearsay, but that is what was said. So we're going to just base off of that.
So we got a whole mouthful.
It's a whole bunch. It's a whole bunch.
There's a protest from Sakian's side where he had to clarify it as the opposition, where he's standing up for his right and saying, yo, these people should not be allowed to even be an opposition,
exactly,
because they registered late, and he took it up to the higher powers, and he also went to social media, and there's also the other party now who's protesting, saying like, yo, CFBC doing a lot of shit, dog. How effective is activism?
Exactly.
How effective do you think the situation is?
I feel like the conversation goes back to the beginning when we were speaking about the channels you take, whether or not you'll take a more passive approach before you take a more active approach, active extreme approach. And in this situation, honestly, based on what Sakian said, taking the more passive approach and his voice is actually being heard, it makes me wonder before the other students took it to the media in such a manner, if they actually took that approach,
the situation, that better outcome.
You know, my approach was so
they would have been listened to.
Y'all realize that the news article ain't even had the Sakian's
this side of the story.
Exactly.
Correct.
They only had that side of the story, so that goes.
And you know what's gonna happen? People gonna stay here and then say, "Oh, you're biased towards me."
No way.
And that's the same thing what happened with the president.
It's
logic.
First of all, I want to applaud you on your approach in dealing with the matter, and I want to applaud you on adopting the protocol and also knowing and selecting the appropriate channel and how you went about it. I think it really deserves an applaud, because I think that it could have been dealt with a lot different, and if they had adopted your style of dealing with it, the whole outcome of that whole situation would
have been a lot. You know, there is no SGA right now,
but not only that,
because of the contestation and the results, no one is represented.
We also spoke about how you act is based on the reaction you get, and based on what you said, based on the gentleman's disrespect towards the principal,
the president,
the president.
You're a primary school teacher, right? You're a primary school teacher.
The president. Based on how his action and her reaction, like it's just natural that he would have been met with
Fight down.
Hostility.
Not fight down, but that sort of
hostility.
No, I mean from the president. Remember, he was I don't know if he was suspended,
but
remember that was the end result. I'm saying is that if it was more of a situation where okay, let's leave.
If she won, nobody would have get suspended.
Yeah,
which is why it caused the situation to escalate based on his approach.
Yeah, and
his or her approach.
It goes back to us thinking about our approach before
how we do things.
Like we have to really think about our course of action, and then we implement it.
As young people, we should definitely use the various channels if we want change.
Effectively
change. I mean, there is I don't think there ever been a time where there is no representative for the SJ now in March.
Yeah. And not just in the SJ or not just in the college, but generally there's a lot of things in terms of how you go about things.
Exactly.
And going about it the way we can have a
So you take the chain of command, and if that doesn't work, then yes, you take it.
Then you escalate it.
Of course, you have to escalate it.
Yeah, as Sakia was saying, he think that the young people should take the right channels, but sometimes it could very well be unawareness or lack of education.
Not in this era, Jolando. I beg to differ.
Admittedly,
with technology.
What I'm saying is that.
You ain't got no excuse.
I'm saying is that.
No excuse.
Maybe it is that. Maybe they were not. Look, even though they ran for student by the government, you took the time to go and learn
the Constitution. You took the
time to learn the Constitution, so you could have known that there was a loophole in what transpired. But if they not the party themselves, that's why I said it takes time for you to go out and learn.
Jolando, we live in an information
era. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm supporting you, but I'm just saying that we live in an information era where you can conduct your own research. Everybody walks around right now in this world with a smartphone, and you have some level of internet access that you do your research before, and you make calculated risk and calculated decision before you get up and just
in the same video with the Newsline, he said the director of services is his friend. Yeah, you hear that? As in the person that police
he mentioned his cousin. How do you do that?
So it's like he said the director of student services is his friend, and Shane and he wants to say the director of student services couldn't be like, oh, but you can't register. The director of student services couldn't even farming on the Constitution.
You want the opposition?
Yeah, that's the president for Team Bets.
So we have a comment. It says, so Shayla, she says, the louder you get, the more of an impact you make. And she said they may be uninformed for true. And that's what I was saying. It's not a situation where
Jolando, every election, the director of student services, when they're sending out the email to register for the position, they send the Constitution and the guidelines.
I'm not disputing that, I'm not even condoning it. I'm saying all of this is based on them choosing not to be informed.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is that you took the time to read the Constitution. I highly doubt that was done on their part. So I'm saying before you yourself go out and say, okay, well, I'm gonna get loud, I'm gonna be active, I'm gonna protest.
You have to make a logical.
Really be logical.
Correct.
Do research.
Correct.
Be involved.
And then you push
what
you want to stand for.
Even so, right?
And also to consult. Ask a question. Or the person would have gone around and passed through this scheme. I mean, 9 times out of 10 in Sankey society, you have older cousins who have passed through there, or you know somebody who would have advised you. The professors who work at the college would have been able to say, no, if you're going about it that way, then that won't get the positive impact or that kind of result that you're expecting.
That's crazy to see that the young people are protesting. I'm happy to see that there's a protest.
That's great.
But
the approach is wrong.
You have to do your research. You have to know what
before you carry anything to the public.
You have to understand where you are coming from. You have to weigh the pros and the cons and say, okay, this is something for me to go out, wait on a placard and go out.
The same
I'm gonna take a little up a scale, right? It's just like the general election here in St. Kitts. We have the Constitution, right? You have these certain things. When you hear like even the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, and these persons in society talking about certain topics, it's because they're versed on the rules.
Exactly.
And that is why they can highlight it. Even to this week, they were in Parliament and they spoke about different things. But if you're not versed and you're not aware, then you can't talk.
Exactly.
You know,
so exactly what the Constitution said there, with the register 2 weeks before, Section 8, Article 4 of the Constitution. Literally. It's craziness. It's craziness for you. I don't understand why all of this happening.
And it's a big thing, and it's sad to say that this is what is making the news.
This is what making the news.
This is the side.
Exactly.
This is the side of the story that is making the news.
They ain't talking about how students up the college overwhelmed with work. They ain't talking about how some lecturers up the college being lack of leniency. They ain't talking about how some students got real hard financially. They ain't talking about sometimes the library don't have enough computers, so must get funding for some computer. What they're talking about. That's the I don't understand. People so like propaganda and stupidness.
Get fired.
And that's why my article didn't make it to a proper news, a big international or local news. Like. Well, I'll show you because people like propaganda, people like in the article they got some grammatical errors. It's like I should have put some in mine so I could get some clout.
Just tell us that you're on the street. Got you.